Hello, greetings, divine love and light to all of you. One question that arises in our minds, most of us are little doubtful or skeptical when we say liberation. We say we want liberation, most of us are scared, liberation means mukti and moksha, and for that I will have to quit everything, or everything will have to go away from me, and I am not yet ready for that. Because there is so much clinging, there is so much attachment, there is so much desires, all these things are there. Another question is, oh, that means I have to shun my desires. If I am seeking for the highest mukti, so I'll have to get rid of all my desires, and it's so difficult. Many are stuck in that phase. Somewhere subconsciously they have this feeling that if I seek the highest, I want the highest. It's not that I don't want the highest, I want to seek the highest, I want to reach there. But somehow there is a certain inhibition or some fear within, lurking within, deep in my subconscious, which I only don't know, that is there. And something is prohibiting me from seeking the highest, because somewhere there is a belief that I will have to get rid of all these things, because mukti, liberation, means just that. Especially if you have been reading the Chidakasha Gita, it is talking about the state of desirelessness, no desires at all. The person who is enlightened has no desires, or the person who has no desires becomes enlightened. This is what the Chidakasha Gita is talking in different, various ways, and that is the ultimate truth. To achieve self-realization means to reach a state where absolutely there is no desires. If there are desires, you cannot get realized, because realization means self-realization. It is the realizing. I realize that I am not this body, I am the self. So self-realization. I am seeing myself. I am having my own darshan, my true self. So in that state means you can reach only that state when all your desires, when all your worldly stuff is all over, when all your cravings and attachment is over. There is no rule. Nobody is telling that you have to leave it, then you will. It is simply natural to understand that the soul is engraved by many layers of ignorance. So the soul is beautifully shining there. But why we are not able to self-realize is because these layers are there. What are these layers of ignorance? What does ignorance contain? It contains all our desires, all our cravings, all our aversions. All these little things put together is a whole set, whole bunch of which we again call as karma. Coming here to this world to repay karmic debts, to finish off desires, is nothing but karma. And what are these? If you just look very carefully into it, it's nothing but simple psychic impressions. These are. There are some impressions that is seeking something, and fulfillment is being sought there. It is being sought, a fulfillment. So for every psychic impression, there is something that is being sought. So it is cause and effect. Cause is the desire, effect is what you are going to manifest. The whole karmic system is just that. All rest of the thing are all stories, like this karma, that karma, big karma, small karma, and relationship karma or wealth karma, all, or health karma. These are all stories in different categories. But if you see the basics of it, it is nothing but a root desire is there, a bija or seed is there for realizing that. So that bija is the cause of this whole creation of karma. And what is that bija? Desire. Desire is an ichha, simple ichha. I want to have an ice cream. Is an ichha, is a desire. Now, you might say, it's a simple desire. Everybody has so many things. It's not big deal. But in the karmic language, it is all, every desire is a big deal. Like for example, I can tell you, if you, let's say you are doing your tapasya and finishing all your karmas, all your desire. But let's say just this one desire of having an ice cream is still there. And then you'll say, oh, that doesn't matter. How is that going to matter? I've handled all the big karmas and cleansed everything now. What does this small thing matter? But the funny thing is, you'll still not get realized because that one karma also has to be fulfilled. You can even remain pending for a janma if that is not realized. Like, let me tell you, I often, for many years, I've been talking this example to all my students also here, and because that is the best example I can give of law of karma and rebirth. Many who do not believe in rebirth. It is that, let us say, a man is living and doing his tapasya and doing all his sadhana and clearing of all the karmas, everything is there. But at the end of his life, when he has almost cleared everything, let's say he is almost going to go because everything is over, but he has been slowly dealing with everything. And now, when he is almost about to go, he has a desire. He sees an ice cream and he has a desire. Let me have that ice cream. And he is going for that ice cream, but by that time, his prarabdha is over and his death comes there. So he has died, he has left his body. Now, according to the calculation, he has done with everything, so it's not a big deal. So he has to get mukt because all his karmas are over. Now the soul goes out, but only this one karma, this ichha of having that ice cream multiplies, and that one thing is pending in that soul's agenda. So there is nothing else, everything else is over. But now, because to have an ice cream, you need a body, not an animal body, not any other body, because what is the ice cream? The soul is desiring that ice cream to taste it, to relish it, to have pleasure. So to taste it, to feel it, to perceive that feeling of pleasure and everything, only a human being can do it. So what does that mean? Now, to fulfill that desire, it has to be fulfilled. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed. Now, for that little ice cream, there is no other option. The soul has to take birth. And the soul takes birth. Now, if you look at it, how important is an ice cream? It is least importance to us. But you can see, for that small one desire, the whole drama has to be enacted again. You have to take another, the soul had to take another birth and come to as an incarnation here. Now the soul agenda of that soul is nothing but ice cream. Are you seeing it? So the baby is born and the baby is growing up. And what is it living for? It is only looking at that ice cream because that is the ichha, that is the only desire. And it's a very strong thing because everything else is over, it's only. So every time the baby is looking at ice creams, it is getting the urge, but the parents won't feed it because it's a baby. And constantly it's just looking at those ice creams whenever it passes or somebody is eating, that's all. It's getting hyper excited. See, we do not understand what is going in a child. The parents don't understand, we don't understand. See how mysterious these things are. And the baby is longing for it. So it looks like, a funny thing. See, look at the child, how he's craving to have that ice cream and all. Yeah, you don't even have teeth and you want, people make fun and all those things. So it's a funny thing, but inside this calculation, this drama is happening. And then finally, let's say it's 1 year or 2 year old, and finally, once when they're out shopping, the parents just decide to, okay, we are having an ice cream. Let us also feed this ice cream to us. And now the child is just waiting for that. And they give a little bit of ice cream to it. Now the child eats it and relishes it because this is what was longing for one lifetime. After that life, previous life, it has been longing for that. And the moment it relishes and tastes it, and there is a tripti, has the contentment of that desire, the cause and the effect. The cause was desire for an ice cream. The effect was the ice cream being brought and it being severed. Now, the moment the child enjoys the ice cream, it collapses dead. Everybody is shocked. What happened? Just an ice cream, and not even a full ice cream, a little bit of it. You've just given it taste and child has gone. And then they check everything and they don't understand what happened. Now, scientifically, there might be some reason that this happened or that happened internally and all that you can do, but that's all just the effect of that karmic substance. Something deeper has happened inside, subtle ways. Now, what has happened? That child did not come for anything else. It has no attachment with the parents, it has nothing to do with the world, no attachment at all. It was all wanting that ice cream, and the moment it had it, it finished the desire. Now, when it finished, the one karma that was pending finished. The whole slate is neutralized, it's cleaned off, and it's the whole calculation is now neutralized. Zero. Done with everything. The soul is done with everything. It left the body. Now, for the world, there is a big hue and cry, all those things, but for the soul, it didn't matter at all. Because all that it was bothered was not the parents, not nothing. It was only bothered about that ice cream to take a human body in relation. Done with it. Are you seeing how it is? This is how the calculations of self-realization is. Until you finish your every desire, you can't get there. That is the reason all the scriptures and all the great mistakes have always told, don't create more desires. What you have desires, okay, fulfill them, complete them. And don't give too much, don't water them too much that you keep on desiring for more. This is the reason why it has been mentioned to be very careful about desires. Now, when we look at it, the scriptures or the mystics, when they say it and we are scared, oh my God, desires, I have so many desires, there's so many unfulfilled dreams that I've got to fulfill. So let me put a halt to my liberation journey. Self-realization baad mein, let me do this. Okay, that's how it goes, because until you fulfill these, it's not good. What I'm trying to tell you is, you need not do the calculations in that way. Okay, let me first do this, and then the higher desire for liberation, let me put it in the back seat. Because I've got so and so. So many people do that. They postpone this, they procrastinate, they push this highest desire in the back seat, and they are managing the world. They are into the world with calling this as an excuse. You can call this as an excuse, because this is somewhere the excuse the mind is making. Oh, there are so many responsibilities, there are so many things. Now I cannot think about self-realization or enlightenment. Maybe in sometime in the future, but let me finish off with all this. There is no problem in that, but I'm telling you, there's a big catch in that also at the same time. If the people go in that manner, in this calculation, because this is their own calculation, this is the ego mind's calculation, and they feel they know how to navigate. But here we are talking liberation, means we are talking about surrender to the highest purpose. I mean, we are just seeking liberation, and then whatever happens, we are surrendering to it. We are allowing life to take its own course. But here, a person says, no, I got to finish this. It's like I'm planning for everything, and then I'll decide when I want self-realization. So in that, there is a catch, because the moment a person says, let me put that on the back seat and let me handle my life dealings first, there is full chance that you can never satisfy and transcend it, because it's going to keep on multiplying. You never know. There are so many times you want to get rid of an habit, of an addiction, or a craving, or something that we have weakness towards. You might have seen, you might try so much, but it's so difficult. So entanglement are always there, chances are there. So all these millions of psychic impressions which are there, if you allow that, let me relish or let me get into it totally, and then let me handle it, I don't think it's going to happen, because it's more than human effort, self-realization. What I'm trying to say is, many people skip that highest goal of self-realization. In one of my video, where I was telling you, knowing your life purpose, how to know your higher purpose, and listing them out. It's like what we write down our goals of life and then fulfill them and transcend them. But I had suggested very strongly in that video is still there in the YouTube channel, Shifting into Awareness. I was very much stressing on, you list out all your worldly goals, no problem. And then most of the people write last liberation or self-realization or mukti or moksha or whatever. But that's always on the last, because they feel this is it. That's true, calculation. But what I was suggesting them is, you write down all your goals, but you move this mukti, the self-realization, to the top. Now they'll say it's madness. No, it's not madness. It's not at all madness. Now this, you'll not find this in any books, what I'm trying to tell you, because this is my own perception, this is my own understanding, and this is how I have dealt with it. And I have found success in it. So I'm just sharing my own stuff. The moment you put that on the higher goal, and then you are not discarding this. We are not saying get away with your desires. You keep this and you work towards those desires, no problem. But let the highest seeking always be in the back of your mind. This is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And then these also. Are you getting it? What will happen in this manner is, because now the brain, the mind, everything is getting tuned to one highest priority goal, that is mukti. As I told you, subconsciously you might say, no, my priority is not mukti. My priority is this. Let it be. But I am telling you, just prioritize that idea of mukti. You don't have to get mukt, and you are not going to get mukt that way also, just by thinking about it. But I am telling you, push that thing front. So when that is there in the back of your mind all the time about liberation, what I am trying to tell is, it is so powerful that you are fixing that highest goal, and then you are surrendering to it. You're not sitting here to dealing with each and everything. You put that in your mind, and then you have surrendered. It's like the Lord knows the best, and let the Lord take care of everything, or let divinity take care, or let the cosmos take care of everything, and then you live your life. But always having this in the back of your mind. Now what will happen is, all the time your mind is impressing upon that thought of self-realization, about liberation. See, the liberation, to liberate you from what? From all these attachments, from all the craving, from all the undesired events, which is giving you nothing but pain and pleasure. We are experiencing that, and we want to get mukt of it, rid of it. So it's like, for example, it's like I am right now in Karnataka and I want to go to Delhi. So I am saying, now what I am suggesting is, keep Delhi as your destination, because that's my final destination, Delhi. I want to reach there. So I am looking at that. But you might say, no, to go to Delhi, it's so long, and I'm going by my bike or my car or something, and then aiming towards Delhi. No, let us go bit by bit. Let us first go towards Pune, and then we can go from Pune to Mumbai, and from Mumbai to Surat perhaps, and from Surat maybe we can go into Rajasthan towards Ajmer, and from Ajmer we can go towards Jaipur, and from Jaipur again we can go very straight to Delhi. That makes sense. So this is one kind of a traveler who says, no, let me go to Pune, and then I have made my journey, I am going this way. And there is another saying, I am going to Delhi, that's my priority. Now what has happened? The first person has put Pune, Mumbai, Ajmer, Jaipur and all that on the list, and Delhi is in the bottom, which is the prime destination. But the other seeker is saying Delhi is on the top. The rest of the things are there. Okay, maybe it is Ajmer, or maybe it's Ujjain, or Madhya Pradesh, or Rajasthan, whatever, I don't know. I'm surrendering to how life takes me. But I got to reach Delhi. See the difference? And they both set out. So the first person will definitely go from that, one point to the other as planned. And the other person will go, don't know how, whichever route takes me, however life takes me, I'm going. So he might take a different route, he might have a lot of diversions, the first person may not. But what I am trying to tell you here is, when you have fixed Delhi as your goal, and when you have surrendered to the higher, the law of manifestation, the law of attractions, when you have that goal, then the universe will start working towards reaching you to Delhi. It is not talking about Gujarat or Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan or nothing in between. It has nothing. Now, the cosmos is working towards Delhi, reaching the person towards Delhi, anyhow, any route. And for the seeker also, it doesn't matter. Anyhow, I got to reach that. That's my thing. The cosmos will always work for the best route, that is for the highest good for this person and all the person this person is involved with, all the people linked with that. It will measure, it will automatically calculate the best route, like how Google Maps calculate the best route, the safest, the shortest, the one with less traffic, least resistance, the path of least resistance. It calculates, the software calculates. Now you are not doing everything. See, that's the thing. If you surrender to Google Maps, it will do all the calculation and guide you correctly. But if you take that, I'm going to take my own charge of my own, and then I put my intellect and mind into it, you can bump into various problems which you do not know. So this is allowing the software to actually guide you to the destination, and that will give you a perfect roadmap there. So what you're doing is, you are traveling all the way towards Delhi, but you are least bothered of which stations are coming. However it is taking you, you are going there. In this, what happens is, it's very safe, because now I'll link this with your soul agendas. It is the same thing that I told. If somebody puts the liberation in the bottom list, what happens? And somebody puts on the top list, this is the same thing that happens. Now you don't have to worry. If you have put the liberation on your top list, you don't have to worry about where and how your life is going to go. You know that is your this. You don't have to really worry about which desires, how to fulfill them and all that. This desire, this highest seeking to the highest tattvas will take care of taking you in the best possible route, in the path of least resistance. And in this process, what will happen is, most of your desires, you don't have to sit working on every desire. It's impossible. But here what is happening is, the cosmos is now presenting you all the opportunities to work and help you and aid you to get over, to transcend, because you have that urgency for that. You have that deep seeking for that liberation. So the transcending process also will be quicker, because the goal is that and nothing else matters. Now here there is no need of any calculation, how I am going to deal with this or this karma or this responsibility, that responsibility. It will take you. Now it is not going to take you like, it is not going to pick you from here and put you there. It will take you through that journey, but it will take you through the right directions, which possibly, if you take your own decisions, you can go amok. Like you say, I want to finish off my responsibilities and my desires, and then you are dealing with it yourself. You might get drifted away somewhere else. You might go towards Andhra Pradesh, or you might go down south towards Adogati. We are talking about Sadgati. So when we are going down totally, we are not aware of what's happening, how it's happening. And then we say, oh my God, I had set out for that place and I ended up here. Why? Because I didn't follow the Google map. A software that is very sophisticated, that can automatically calculate. I use my own brain, which is not so developed as that software. So the Jivatma is not yet developed. It's impossible to compare a Jivatma to Paramatma. Jivatma has got its own limitations. I'm talking about the Paramatma. If you give it to the Paramatma and then you start walking with that desire in mind, what I'm trying to tell you is, everything will be beautifully aligned without you having to skip anything. Our fear is that, oh my God, if I take mukti now on the highest, what happened to my family? What happened to my responsibilities? What happened to so many pending tasks? You don't have to worry about it. This is the first seeker who's planning step by step. Whereas the other person says, okay, I've got this responsibilities, I've got all these tasks, all these pending tasks, all these so many things left to do, but I'm sure I'll be able to grace through it, and he will take care. And then I fix it on that. So automatically you are fulfilling your desires also, but you are not remaining stuck. The higher tattvas will take care of that you don't remain there, because the urge, why? Your constant urges for that destination. So what will happen is, it is trying to pull you through that. But if your urge is not that, if your urge is Mumbai, Pune, Ajmer, or Surat, Ahmedabad, and all that, see what will happen. The pull is not there. The pull is here. It is here, 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 here. It will keep on dodging here, and then you keep on deciding, no, 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 not Ahmedabad. I think I should go to Surat. Then again, there's a diversion, and then you go and stop. You're confused. Now what? Which route do I take? There is so much of heavy activity for the individual ego to handle this. But this is so quicker. So it is a myth to actually feel that this is deadly. So let me put this in the end and let me manage my life in this manner. And this will be faster for me if I do that. No, actually it will take more time. So this one myth that is there with most of us, right? Because when I'm talking to people, when I talk about goals, I say, we'll do that later, I've got so many things to do. So that is the individual ego consciousness that is trying to decide everything. And then it will fall into the samsara. Automatically it will fall into samsara, bumping here and there all the time. And by the end of that prarabdha lifetime, they will see that they have not even reached half their destination. Whereas the one who has fixed their final destination on the Google map as Delhi will find that the vehicle is moving straight there. It is not bothered here and there. And then when you are moving towards Delhi, what will happen is you might see Ahmedabad, you might see Pune, you might see Mumbai, you might see Jaipur, you might see Ujjain, whichever route it is going, you might see everything. But you'll enjoy. You'll enjoy the scene, you'll enjoy the flavor of that place, you'll enjoy the food of that place, everything you're going. You're not stopping anything. Are you seeing? What I'm trying to tell you is everything you'll enjoy, relish, fulfill, but you are not remaining stuck anywhere. Because gaadi chut jayegi. If you are in Jaipur and having some delicacy there, you will have to have that delicacy and move on to your vehicle again because you can't stop there. Let's say it's a train that is going towards Delhi from South Kerala and this Karnataka to Delhi, and it keeps stopping everywhere. Now you have taken the Delhi train which is going there straight, and you are alighting at different places, enjoying the flavor of all the states, talking to people, relishing the food there. But then you are not stopping there for long because if you stop, your train will go. So what is happening is you are enjoying it at the same time you are not getting hooked onto it. By meaning that you are moving in time into your train, it just means you're not getting attached to anything, any object in your journey. You're having really, at the same time, you're not neglecting it. You're enjoying it also. But the destination is there. The seeking is there. The goal is there. My eyes are set there. That is what I need to go for. So, this video, what I'm trying to tell you is, it is very much easier to put this highest seeking first, and then you put all your worldly desires. Whatever your seekings are, you can keep that in the back of your mind, but this always on the priority. This will help a great deal because this is how I have always done. I didn't do it purposely, but today when I was reflecting, I saw that this is how life has been because the desire has been that, and everything it has been taking very beautifully and going without having to quit everything or just renounce anything. Renunciation will happen, but it will happen effortlessly. Like if you are having a vada pav in Mumbai station and you love vada pav, you are enjoying it. But when the train is supposed to leave, you enjoy it, you relish it, you pay the bill, and you get on and you are moving towards the next destination. Now what is happening? The vada pav is not going to bother you because you are looking forward to something in the next station. Something in Gujarat you are looking, in Vapi you are going to have some other dish or something. Something is there. So the vada pav is not. You have transcended the vada pav. Whereas if you have taken a bike or a car and gone there and deciding on your own, let me go to Mumbai, you might go for a vada pav and then you might see Bhelpuri, you might see Pani Puri, and you keep on, okay, there is time because it's my own journey, I have my own car, own time I take, so let me have this. Whereas the train has already reached half the destination while you are still in Mumbai relishing all the flavors and delicacies. stuck there. You don't even know you're stuck there. You feel this is life. Are you getting it? It's a metaphor that I'm using it. This is the best way I have found, and there will be no regrets also. So you finish your vada pav, you go next date, and then whatever you have there, you go on, and then finally you see that Delhi is nearing. Then you don't have any regrets, because by this time you have had all the food, you have enjoyed everything, and there has been no attachment to it. Why? Because this is the higher seeking, the higher pull is there. So hope this explains something to you, and this triggers something in your life also, in your consciousness, and you might change a little bit of your seekings. Lots of divine love and light to all of you.